What if I told you that the ocean is not just deep, but deadly? That beneath the waves, something ancient, something massive, is watching. From ships that disappeared without a trace to eyewitnesses who swore they saw creatures beyond comprehension. These are the most terrifying sea monsters ever reported. But be warned, some of these horrors might still be lurking today. Now please subscribe. Your one subscribe fuels my passion and keeps my dream alive. I'll put in my full effort to bring you the rarest and most valuable knowledge. Number 10, the Lusca, the giant that lurks below. The Caribbean waters shimmer in the sunlight, but beneath the waves, there's something waiting. Sailors from the Bahamas have long feared the Lusca, a creature said to be part shark, part octopus, and entirely nightmarish. For centuries, fishermen would vanish without a sound, only for their shattered boats to wash ashore, ripped apart by something far more powerful than any storm. Witnesses reported seeing tentacles as thick as tree trunks rising from the deep, wrapping around entire ships before yanking them below in an instant. One of the most disturbing accounts comes from a group of divers in a submerged cave system. They described feeling a sudden, unnatural current, as if something massive had just moved. Then, out of nowhere, a giant shadow rushed toward them. The last thing they saw was a flash of enormous suckers, before the water turned completely black. But here's where it gets worse. Some marine biologists now believe the Lusca isn't just a legend. Reports of giant, unknown cephalopods have surfaced in recent years, some stretching over 100 feet long. Could the Lusca still be out there, waiting? Hold that thought, because the next monster on this list might prove it. Number 9, the Nuckelavee, the skinless horror of the sea. In the misty waters of Scotland's Orkney Islands, a nightmare rides the waves. The Nuckelavee isn't just a sea monster, it's something far more horrifying. It has the body of a horse fused to a humanoid torso, its head twisted and grotesque. But the most horrifying part? It has no skin. Sailors who claim to have seen it describe exposed muscles pulsing and black veins throbbing under the moonlight. Its toxic breath is said to wilt crops, kill livestock, and sicken anyone who gets too close. One legend speaks of a fisherman who encountered the Nuckelavee late at night. He saw the towering, fleshless beast rise from the sea, its empty, soulless eyes locked onto him. He ran for his life, but with each splash of the waves, the monster moved closer and closer. Just when he thought he'd be dragged into the abyss, he stumbled into fresh water, and the beast vanished in a furious scream. Could this mean the Nuckelavee is still hunting, only waiting for another unlucky soul to cross its path? Stay with me, because what's coming next might make you reconsider stepping near the ocean ever again. Number 8, the Umibozu, the shadow that sinks ships. Picture this. You're out at sea, and the water is eerily still. Then, without warning, a towering black figure rises from the depths, its featureless face staring straight at you. Before you can even scream, your ship is smashed apart, pulled into the abyss in an instant. This is the Umibozu, Japan's most feared sea phantom. Legends say it appears only when the ocean is at its calmest, lulling sailors into a false sense of security before striking with unstoppable force. One of the most chilling reports comes from a 19th century Japanese merchant ship. The crew described how the water turned an unnatural shade of black before an enormous, shadowy head broke the surface. It had no eyes, no mouth, just a massive, glowing void where its face should be. Moments later, the ship was engulfed by a freak storm, and only a few survivors lived to tell the tale. Some believe the Umibozu is not a spirit, but a real, undiscovered creature lurking in the Mariana Trench, the deepest part of the ocean. If that's true, then what it's hiding from us might be even worse. Wait, please pay attention. Knowledge is power, and I'm giving it all to you. Now you really should subscribe. And yes, you must watch the full video too. Please, let's resume. Number 7, the Leviathan, the beast that could swallow a ship. Whole for centuries, sailors whispered of a creature so vast, so powerful that it could devour entire vessels in one bite. They called it the Leviathan, a sea serpent bigger than any known animal, its scales like iron, its eyes glowing like fire beneath the waves. Ancient texts describe the Leviathan as a monster of biblical proportions, capable of causing massive whirlpools and sinking fleets. But here's where it gets terrifying. Modern-day sonar scans have picked up massive, moving shapes in the deepest parts of the ocean. One infamous sighting occurred near the Bermuda Triangle, where a cargo ship's crew reported seeing a ridge of jagged spikes rise from the water, longer than the ship itself. Then, without warning, the creature dove back down, dragging an unnatural wave behind it. The ship rocked so violently that half the cargo was lost, and the crew swore they heard a deep, unearthly roar from below. Could the Leviathan be real? Some experts suggest that a prehistoric predator might still be alive, hiding where we can't reach. And if that's true, what else could be lurking in the depths? Before you answer that, wait until you hear about the next creature, because it's something even science can't explain. Number 6. The Kraken. The terror that pulls ships into the abyss. The Kraken isn't just a legend, it's a warning. Descriptions of this colossal, tentacled horror date back to Viking explorers who swore it could pull entire ships beneath the waves. The terrifying part: we now know giant squids exist, but some believe the Kraken is even bigger. One of the most terrifying accounts comes from the early 1900s when a British naval ship vanished off the coast of Norway. The only clue left behind? A single, massive tentacle found wrapped around a piece of wreckage. Suckers larger than dinner plates, skin covered in deep scars, as if something even bigger had attacked it. Some researchers believe these monsters still roam the ocean's unexplored trenches, waiting for their next target. And if the Kraken truly exists, we might not be the ones hunting it. It might be hunting us. Number 5. The Altamaha, America's forgotten sea serpent. Deep in the murky waters of Georgia's Altamaha River, a serpent-like shadow slithers beneath the surface. Locals call it the Altamaha, a monstrous creature with a long, bony body, a crocodile-like snout, and piercing yellow eyes that glow in the darkness. But here's what makes this legend truly disturbing. Unlike most sea monster stories, this one is still happening today. Fishermen have repeatedly reported seeing something massive lurking beneath their boats. Its body so long that it seems to stretch on forever beneath the waves. One chilling encounter describes how a boat's engine suddenly failed, and moments later, a huge, serpent-like head rose from the water, staring directly at the crew before vanishing without a trace. The most terrifying part? In 2018, satellite images of the river revealed a giant, snake-like figure moving through the water. Scientists have no explanation. Could it be that a prehistoric predator has survived all this time, hiding in the rivers where no one dares to look? But if you think this is terrifying, wait until you hear about the next monster, because it doesn't just live in the ocean, it hunts in the waves. If everything you've watched so far has taught you something new, then you must subscribe, because what's coming next is even more valuable. Don't miss out. Number 4. The bloop, the sound that shouldn't exist. In 1997, deep-sea microphones picked up a mysterious sound, a low, echoing bloop that shook the ocean. It was so powerful that it was recorded thousands of miles away. Scientists were baffled. The sound didn't match any known animal, and yet, it seemed alive. Some researchers suggested it could be an unknown colossal creature, one that dwarfs even the blue whale. The location of the bloop? Near the South Pacific, suspiciously close to H.P. Lovecraft's fictional city of Relaya, the place where the monstrous Cthulhu was said to sleep beneath the ocean. Coincidence? Maybe. But here's the truly chilling part. After 1997, the bloop was never heard again. Did whatever made the sound move deeper? Or worse? Did it wake up? If that doesn't keep you up at night, what's coming next might. Because the creature at number 3 was feared even by Vikings. Number 3, the Hafgufa, the monster that pretends to be an island. Imagine sailing through calm waters and spotting a small island. You steer your ship closer, looking for a place to rest. But suddenly, the island begins to move. The Hafgufa was a terrifying legend among Viking sailors, a beast so large, so ancient, that it could disguise itself as an entire landmass. When unsuspecting ships got too close, the island would suddenly open its enormous mouth, creating a deadly whirlpool that dragged everything into its abyss. For centuries, historians dismissed the Hafgufa as mere myth, but then, something shocking happened. In 2022, deep-sea drones captured footage of a gigantic, previously unknown marine species, resting motionless on the ocean floor for days at a time. only to suddenly lunge at prey with a single, massive gulp. Could it be that the Hafgufa isn't just a Viking legend, but a real undiscovered predator that has been lurking in the depths for centuries? And if you think that's horrifying, just wait until you hear about the next monster, because this one doesn't just attack ships, it haunts sailors' dreams. Number 2. The Black Demon of the Pacific. Off the coast of Baja California, Mexico, fishermen speak in hushed whispers about something far worse than a great white shark. They call it the Black Demon, a colossal jet-black shark, bigger than a bus with eyes like burning coals. Many believe it to be a surviving Megalodon, the ancient 60-foot shark that supposedly went extinct millions of years ago. But if it's gone, why do so many people still see it? One of the most terrifying encounters happened in 2009 when a fisherman's boat was suddenly struck from below. When he looked down, he saw a monstrous shadow circling the vessel, its tail alone longer than his entire boat. Before he could react, the creature slammed into the hull again, nearly capsizing him. Some scientists argue that Megalodon could still exist, hiding in the unexplored depths of the ocean. If that's true, then the Black Demon might not just be a legend. It might be a warning. But if you think that's terrifying, nothing compares to the undisputed king of sea monsters. The number 1 most feared creature in ocean history is coming up next, and its legend will haunt you forever. Number 1. The Charybdis, the whirlpool of death. You're sailing through a narrow passage. The water is strangely calm. Then, without warning, the ocean begins to spin. Within seconds, a massive whirlpool forms, growing larger and larger until it devours everything in its path. This is Charybdis, a mythical sea monster so powerful that it could swallow entire fleets. Greek legends describe it as a living, breathing vortex, creating deadly maelstroms that pulled even the strongest ships into the abyss. For centuries, people dismissed Charybdis as just a story. But modern science tells a different tale. Satellite images have revealed massive, unexplained whirlpools appearing and disappearing across the ocean, some large enough to engulf entire islands. Some researchers believe these maelstroms are caused by deep-sea geological activity, but others aren't so sure. What if Charybdis was never a myth? What if it's still out there, waiting in the darkest parts of the ocean, ready to rise again? Which of these legendary sea monsters terrified you the most? Do you think any of them could still be out there, lurking in the deep? Let me know in the comments. And don't forget, please subscribe, because hitting your subscribe button can give me new motivation to work harder and succeed. If you love chilling stories like this, tell me what top 10 list you want next. The ocean holds many secrets, and we've only just begun uncovering them.